Hey everyone, Ashley here, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. I'm so happy that you're all here. Today I'm going to be talking about another tarot deck that I'm super excited to work with because, as I mentioned in a previous video, when I did the unboxing of the Heaven and Earth tarot deck, I mentioned that when I was at the used bookstore, I had found that one and another deck. Now, this one was used. It wasn't like in plastic wrap or anything, but thankfully, it's actually in really good shape. So that was awesome. And I only paid $13 for it, which is also awesome because anywhere, I'm a big thrifter. So anytime I find a good deal, I am all excited about that. So the deck we're going to be talking about today is The Murder of Crows Tarot by Kuroda Roy. I had been seeing this deck around quite a bit here on YouTube and just in the tarot community. And the artwork is just so stunning. I kept seeing some of the cards and they were just like, it's just gorgeous. Like, I love Kuroda Roy's artwork. Here's the box. It is published by Lo Scarabeo. And it's just absolutely beautiful. Plus, I love, love, love the white and black mixed with some of this red here. And when you open it up, it's so pretty. It's just so pretty. I am very impressed lately with Lo Scarabeo decks. Usually they're not like my favorite brand to get decks from, even though they publish some really good ones. Like, I love the Tarot of the Haunted House. That is another favorite of mine. I really do love that one. But again, the decks aren't that great, you know, because they're thin, but they do. I have talked to some other tarot peeps, and they do say that, I mean, Lo Scarabeo decks do still last quite a while. So anyways, just throwing that out there is that I know that the cardstock's not the greatest usually, but I am so impressed with this one and with the Heaven and Earth Tarot, which if you watched my previous video when I unboxed that one, I had some issues with it because when I pulled the cards out, of course they were in plastic wrap, so I took that off and then they were literally all stuck together. It was crazy. And I had to like peel them apart one by one as I was showing them. And but thankfully I haven't had any issues yet, you guys. So there's a little update for you. They shuffle beautifully. I actually really love the cardstock, just like this deck. The cardstock is so different and they're bigger. So here's the backs. And it is glossy cardstock, which I happen to kind of like glossy. I like shiny decks. I just do. But they're a little bit bigger than their usual size. And they're thick. Like, it's a good, like, this is, like, I feel like this would last, you know, a good amount of time. Like, it's even thicker than Llewellyn cardstock, I think. Like, it feels that way. Well, actually, I know it is, because when you hold them up like this, like, look how thick this deck is. And, like, a Llewellyn's deck might be, like, this thick. So, it's a good amount of... Anyways, cardstock. Loving this Lo Scarabeo change a little bit here with some of these. But this deck is quickly becoming a favorite. I actually have a top 5 favorite decks video up on the channel as well, where one of my, what was it? It wasn't necessarily one of my top 5s, but it was an honorary mention deck, and that was Tarot of the Abyss. Still loving that one as well, but I love a good white and black deck. And Tarot of the Abyss, I love the artwork in it, but it also, I feel like it is more of a kind of a lighter white and black deck, if that makes sense. Like, it doesn't feel like real dark or shadowy kind of a feel. This deck feels kind of like darker to me a little bit. So even though I like a darker aesthetic for the most part, I mean, Tarot of Vampires is, but so I could probably use this. I'll probably use this as an everyday deck, which I know you can. But I also feel like I could really do some shadow work with this one a little bit as well. I've heard this deck, when you do path working with tarot and meditations with tarot, I've heard that this can really take you to a different world. And that's what the guidebook even talks about. Like, you're stepping into a whole different feeling, a whole different type of world and aspect. it's really, really interesting. I will mention the guidebook is your typical Low Scarabeo guidebook, meaning you have multiple languages. So you're only getting, you're actually still getting quite a bit though, honestly. You're getting 57 pages, okay? And it's a small guidebook, but you're still getting a good bit amount of information per card, even for the minors. You're getting a pretty good little paragraph. And what I love about this guidebook, so a lot of people talk about when you have little white books or Low Scarabeo white books too, where you get even less, that they're not really something you want to reference much. And a lot of people don't. They just kind of like push it off to the side and it's, nah. But this guidebook, however, I have noticed is really excellent. I really love, the author is Charles Harrington. And I really love the story that he incorporates, or how they like made this whole deck, like the whole vibe to be. So it really gives you, it's very kind of poetic. You also get a lot of good information at the beginning, an immersive approach to storytelling with the cards, which I absolutely love. So I really love that they put that in there at the beginning. They give you spreads. Talk a little bit, of course, about the tarot, about the majors and minors. Oh, Journeying to the Realm of the Inner Shadow. They have a whole section on that. Tarot as a tool of spellcraft. Also interesting. So this book has very good information in it. I mean, if you're a beginner, you're still going to want to have like a Tarot 101 book, or the guided tarot book is also really good. So you're still going to want to have like more information, but the story that is woven in here to like get you started with meditating with these cards and getting a little glimpse into the messages and meanings is really good. Okay. Rambles. Enough of that. I will show you some of these cards now. Again, they're a little glossy, so excuse that a little bit, but the artwork, you guys, I absolutely love it. And the fact that I have been seeing crows everywhere lately, which I've really been paying attention to. I've been paying attention to seeing, what all pops up. And I've been seeing a lot of crows. So it's fascinating when, there's different meanings and associations with crows. A lot of people see them as a bad omen, but they're not always that. They actually represent change and wisdom. So that's how I have been seeing it, because there has been change in my life, but really good changes. So I love how this deck came into my life now. It's just perfect timing, because again, this deck has like been on my radar for quite some time, but I just never hopped on it until I came across it at a used bookstore and was able to save a little bit on it and still get to really enjoy. It's just, again, perfect timing. I'm excited to, again, I've only had it for about a week and a half. So I haven't really, haven't had enough time to spend a lot of time with it yet, but I'm already liking the vibe and feel of this deck. Again, I just love the artwork. But you see, I shared in my top 5 video or tarot video, excuse me, my top 5 tarot deck video, I shared some of the Tarot of the Abyss. And Tarot of the Abyss has been out for a while. But just in case you don't know the style of that one, you can check out that video of mine, because I do share a little bit of it. But you can definitely see there is a big difference, of course, in artistic styles, but just the feel and vibe, mainly. I mean, like I said, Tarot of the Abyss is kind of like, excuse me, sorry. I really love, oh, you know what? I'll read this one to you guys. This is the Star, by the way. But what I was going to say before I read, I want to read the description of this to you guys. Before I read that, I just want to say that, like, again, like, even though both these decks are like the black and white artwork, there's definitely a different energy and vibe to them. And so I'm really thankful to have both of them in my collection now, and to be able to like work with them differently. But anyways, this is the Star. And I just want to show you like what the guidebook has to offer for it, because I ended up pulling this one day and I really liked what it said here. Oh, stars. Okay, they named it stars. So, you have followed the bird through the plains of dust and drear, onward, forward, and just as your faith threatens to crumble, the smoke clears and she is there. The Lady of Peace beckons to you. I'll hold it up. The Lady of Peace beckons you to her pool. She raises the golden chalices before her in ancient rituals of restoration. Lay down your burdens here. I have the strength to carry them. Give me your grief and bathe in my pool. What is broken can be mended. What is hurt can be washed clean and restored. You imagine yourself entering the waters and accepting incredible bliss. Isn't that just so, like, it's just so awesome. I just love that. So again, this deck I think is just special and unique in its own way, and I just think it just gives you a different perspective. So yeah, I know. Oh, I actually really love this one too. This one is the sun, and I love how the sunflowers are just kind of like doodly in here in the background. See, I like the mixture. You have like this really dark, saturated, you know, black color and with like a lot of detail, and then you just lighten it up a little bit with these doodles type sunflowers. I like that a lot. And I forgot what I was previously going to say, but oh, that's what I was going to say. This deck has been out, of course, for a little while, and so a lot of you may have heard of this deck or have it and love it as well. If you do, I'd love to hear your thoughts down below, since I'm like just beginning to work with it. But I just wanted to share it with you guys because I'm like super excited to work with it and see where the journey takes me. And I may, if you guys would like to see it, I may do like a review of this maybe in a month, to let you guys know how it goes. I'll just show you guys just a few more here. There we go. Okay, you guys, I could just, I love it. All right, so that is the Murder of Crows Tarot. I'm, again, so thrilled that I found it at a bookstore. Like I said, it was used, but I also did edge it. I like edging and modding my decks to make them personal and just kind of my own. So I did do that. But this deck came in really, really good shape. So if you ever want to find a good price on a tarot deck, I recommend checking a local used bookstore because you never know what you'll find there too. All right, you guys, thank you for joining me today in this video, and I will catch you guys all in the next one. Bye.